the How to Make Money Online 30-Day Challenge. Today's topic is selling digital products. Damien, what is up, man? How you doing? It's so good to see you here. How you been? I love it. I love it that you're dropping comments first. That's so cool, man. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. All right. Who's ready to talk about some digital products here? Hey, Sweetums. Welcome in. How you doing? Damon's already here. He dropped the chat. He dropped a hello in the chat. That's awesome. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about basically getting started selling digital products online. So, we'll do the overview, and so we'll talk a little bit about like an introduction of digital products, do like an understanding of what digital products might be, steps to getting started as a beginner, and then potentially where you might want to sell your digital products, pricing it, marketing it, and launching it to promote. So, all right, let's dive in. So, I think we all kind of have an idea of what a digital product is, but just in case, let's go over it a little bit. So, okay, so digital product basically means anything that you can sell online that's not a physical product, meaning something you can't hold in your hand. So, whether it be an ebook, it could be a course, it could be maybe like downloadable PDF, that kind of thing, as far as maybe like an outline or some sort of like strategy guide on a PDF. So um, really, those are kind of like the main kind of, I guess, categories of digital products. I mean, there's other ones. There's templates. You have maybe like graphic, kind of like a not just like a Word or PDF template, but also like a graphic template. So hey, Swinums. Yeah. So just curious, what digital products anyone here? Yeah, me too. I'm curious that too. So I would say for starters, for me, I definitely so I would say a course, a blogging course for me, and what else have I purchased? I've actually done some templates when I was doing drop shipping for like an email marketing kind of templates, which were like a couple bucks that I purchased. Also, like a theme. I purchased like a couple themes for the blog that I was running. So yeah, I think that's definitely a great way. That's a great way to get started, Sweetums, to kind of get, see if anybody has any experience here and what digital products that, people have actually purchased before. Um, okay, so let's dive in a little bit. So we talked about digital products, kind of what they are. Again, the types of digital products, it could really be anything. It could be, anything from like ebooks to courses to software to graphics, excuse me, to music, um, that kind of thing. I know a couple of years ago, buying ringtones was actually really popular for your phones. Like if you couldn't get like, you know, the ringtone that came with either the iPhone or the Android phones, you could actually purchase ringtones. You might actually still be able to do that. I'm not sure if you can or not. I haven't actually tried in a while, but that's another example of what a digital product might be. So, all right, so let's dive in and let's kind of talk about so what are some of the benefits and some of the challenges that you might face or that exist with digital products. So, for one, we're talking about low production cost because you're not actually producing a physical product. Something that somebody like this, something like this would be like a physical product versus like digital. Um, so, oh, cool, Sweetum. Sweetum says I got a bunch of courses, WordPress templates, calligraphy art templates, crochet instructions, printables. Perfect. Yeah, that it's amazing how the actual when you think about a digital product. I mean, I think it's maybe at first it's kind of possible just to think, okay, well, I think about a handful of things, maybe like two or three different things. But actually, like in reality, which is pretty cool, they just go on and on and on. And I mean, there's all kinds of different things that are considered a digital product. So, and the chances that we have downloaded stuff is very, very high, very likely. Yeah, so if we go back to kind of some of the benefits, so obviously low production costs, you don't need to have inventory of these things. You don't need to create them, that sort of thing. And so scalability. So basically what that means is, if you basically have an audience around whatever the digital product is, or you have some sort of, I guess, kind of like target group that you're selling to, being able to increase the space of that group and increase like the number of people that you're going to be marketing to is, scalability is not only with the amount of people you can reach, but also like the amount of money that you can make. So that's kind of more of like a vertical scaling up would be like, scaling in terms of like cost, like so making more money, but like horizontal scaling like sideways would be more of, how can you expand your reach of people, your audience or who you want to promote this to. So, and then of course, what everybody is here for, right? So the passive income potential, which is I think huge and which is a very real thing. So I think the best part about digital products is legitimately, I mean, unless, it's something that never changes, I mean, the chances are you create this thing, this template, this document, this ebook, whatever it is, this instructions or this outline, you create it effectively one main time and then you sell it. So, occasionally you can update it, you can kind of tweak it. And that may be part of, depending on if you give, the people who purchase it like lifetime access to download anytime there's an update. That might be part of, your actual digital product strategy. Or what you can do is, maybe just, if you decide that you want to sell like an update part of it, maybe just make it a little bit cheaper, that kind of thing. So depending on the price point that you start it, so somebody's not basically essentially paying twice. So you don't want them to pay full price twice, unless it's something that is a really significant update, I think. So, okay. So in terms of the challenges, so when you think about digital products, I mean, is there enough room for everybody? Can you carve out your own space in terms of having a digital product and making it something that's so unique? How are you going to be able to compete in the seas of all these other people, right, that are doing the exact same thing? So there's a couple different strategies you can do. So obviously you want to make sure that you make it your own, meaning you want to put your own spin on it. You want to put your own creative design and really kind of put your own thoughts into it. That way, it's going to be set aside from somebody else. So you're not copying anybody. You're taking an idea or like some sort of you know at least some sort of kind of outline, and you're basically expanding on it, or you're taking it in a different direction. So there's definitely ways that you can do that without obviously flat out like copying somebody. Yeah, Sweetums, that's a great point. Yeah. Because younger generations always want newer content and can relate to that as well. Definitely. Yep, they can relate to always kind of having like an update or some sort of new reiteration of, whatever it is, whatever the content is. If it's a template, maybe you update it slightly in a different way, or you offer more, variations of the template. That's always an option. But yeah, I think at least for starters, for like as far as like the sake of this live stream right here, we'll just kind of assume that it's a one and done kind of digital product. So you're creating it once and then you're going to sell it. Even though we know that there's multiple layers to that, but just for the explanation here, we'll just assume that it's a one and done kind of thing. Wow, that's crazy, Sweetum. So yeah, people have repackaged manifesting principles from 10 years ago on TikTok. Wow. So that's the thing is like depending on where this information comes from, pulling this information and packaging it and putting it in, something that is like a new and a fresh, excuse me, new and a fresh box, I think is something that could definitely be enticing and really kind of draw people in, draw new people in, in terms of having something to where um, people get excited about it, and they really get like energized and kind of pumped about whatever it is, like the newest kind of version of it. So I definitely think that's definitely very real, and keeping, people kind of like at the forefront, like keeping it fresh and keeping it live and active and that kind of thing. In a sense, it's almost kind of like a living document in a sense, if there is updates to be made. So that's also a way that, potentially that could be also like passive income if you were to charge, every time you did an update kind of thing. So, but that's really kind of based individually on you and your strategy. So however you want to do that. So okay, so we know market competition, that's a real thing, right? Again, the need for continuous updates. We kind of talked about that a little bit. I don't necessarily even think of that as necessarily a challenge or a negative. I think it's more of like almost like a duty in a sense, or like a right, not necessarily a right, but like a duty or a responsibility to the content creator. If you are creating this, whatever this is digital product that does it's an appropriate expectation that it has to be updated, then I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, continuous updates. It doesn't mean you have to update something like every couple of months, but um, at the same time, maybe just kind of touch it up, maybe like once a year, that kind of thing, just so you kind of have some fresh, like a fresh new look or fresh new eyes, look at it, that kind of thing. So, um, and then something definitely that I know is big for a lot of people is digital piracy. Basically, like somebody stealing your ideas, stealing what you have, stealing your design, that kind of thing. So there's a couple different ways that you can kind of go about this. So number one, you could go if you have something that is rock solid, it's totally unique and totally original to you, you can always go down the path potentially of copywriting or trademarking, whatever it is. That definitely has like a longer, kind of more in depth process, but it is something that is, ironclad in a sense of, if you wanted to get a trademark on, a saying that you came up with or whatever the case is, whatever it is, that's always an option. That's always a route to go. Otherwise, adding like a watermark in whatever your template, your image, whatever it is that you create, your product, that's also something that is basically putting your stamp on it. And you definitely want to make sure that the watermark is crossing a good chunk of the bulk of the data or whatever, the centerpiece is for the product. That way, for sure somebody can't just go in there and strip the watermark out. Um, that's not very easy. I mean, I'm sure that there's programs out there that can do that, but um, the normal kind of everyday person looking for a really quick steal is not going to go through all that just to strip out a watermark kind of thing. So I think that's something that definitely can help safeguard um, your investment. Basically, that's your content and your what you've come up with. So basically, like your creation. So. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about kind of getting started as a beginner. So I know, we've talked about this a lot over the last, 19 days, but basically what you want to do first is when you have an idea, it's a good thing to come up with not only the idea of what you might create, but also identifying what your niche is. So basically, who are you going to target this to? And how can you identify that? So start off by kind of brainstorming in your head. You can kind of think about, okay, you can assess your skills and figure out what do you want to create? What are you good at? What seems to come real easy for you in terms of being able to um, create or basically invent this, digital product? So maybe what are your interests? What do you like to do? What do you like to talk about? What are you into? What is your passion? Something that really kind of gets you excited and gets your energy up and allows you to really kind of connect. So I think those are important things to think about when you're trying to identify a niche. And then finally, this definitely shouldn't be overlooked either, is the market demand. So just because you're into something, you really like it, you think it's awesome, it's the coolest thing in the world to you, and you enjoy it, it doesn't mean that there's a demand out there, on the market for whatever it is you're trying to, potentially build or create. So you definitely want to research and validate your niche. So, hey, Kumo, how you doing? Great to have you. Thank you for coming back. Really appreciate it. Good to see you again. So next up, we're going to talk about, so we're going to move into creating your digital product. So basically you want to think about, okay, you choose a type of digital product that you want to create. And so if you want to get some ideas, um, one of the absolute first and the most um, competitive, but in a sense, like, one of the best marketplaces or platforms that I can think of that's on the internet right now is Etsy, to kind of get ideas of something that you might want to create. Everything from like, to-do list to journals to ebooks to, you know, to graphics to templates to this and that and instructions and I mean everything under the sun. So Etsy is such a large, large marketplace that you can search for and find virtually any type of digital product you can imagine. So that might be a great place to kind of start and at least just kind of get the ball rolling and kind of do some brainstorming with, okay, what might, what might be a good fit? What do I think, I could create as far as like a digital product? Or what might be what I can't even talk tonight. What might I be interested in creating? So yeah, do you guys have any ideas out there? Like, as far as if you were to create a digital product, does anybody have any ideas about maybe what you might create? Like, any ideas you're like, yeah, that'd be cool if I created this. So, yeah, Sweetums, that's right. So, there are even mock-ups on print on demand or for print on demand products that make a killing on Etsy. That's a perfect example because seriously, it's like you're just doing a mock-up, so you're not doing sure. Hey, what's going on? Whoa, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so you're not even doing like, I mean, maybe they are, but you're not doing the print on demand stuff. It's more like the mock-ups and just focusing on that instead of actually focusing on the shirt or the mug or the sweatshirt or whatever it is, the product that time. So that's just equally as important as, because people on Etsy, specifically print on demand, they're going to need mock-ups in terms of making it look as professional as possible. And you really want to draw the attention. So that in itself is absolutely a niche that I think it seems like maybe there's, it could be potentially that, maybe a select few have kind of carved out that niche. And then everybody just kind of, in a sense, kind of reuses, the general sense of the same mockups, which, I mean, whoever started the idea to think about like creating a mockup niche like basically to like complement people with print on demand or stores or that kind of thing. I think that was genius because you don't actually have to design the t-shirts. So I mean, I'm not saying that people that do mock-ups they don't design shirts, but it seems like just doing the mock-ups themselves by itself, that is a niche in itself. And in terms of you know finding an audience, I mean, talk about an audience. I mean, if everybody uses a mock-up, right? I mean, oh, nice, Sweetums. Okay, so the ones that are in demand are selling for like $5 per photo, and you need many, many photos. That's pretty crazy, right? I mean, $5 a photo, you think, oh, whatever, that's not so bad. I can get away with, if you're new, you're like, oh, I mean, maybe I only need a couple here and there. But yeah, not only does that add up for the person who is, the content creator, the person that has the print on demand store, but also like it adds up on the flip side in the whoever owns the mock-up, the niche, that the mock-up digital product, then it's going to just start skyrocketing because if everybody needs those, and that's really how you succeed on something like Etsy with print on demand, then talk about a demand, like a supply and demand. So um, that's kind of going back to what we're talking about. Like you just create it once, in a sense, you create it once and then you just list it for sale, that kind of thing. So yep. exactly, Sweetums. So think of all the people selling print-on-demand shirts. We're all buying from the same stores that sell mock-ups, the best-selling shirts. Yep. I mean, when you think about that and you kind of break that down, I mean, that is like a direct gold mine for the people who create the mock-ups. So, which is, it's always like this. You always like, oh man, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think to do that? Because everybody else is going to come to you, for the mock-ups, that kind of thing. But it's kind of like everything else, right? I mean, you kind of think about it and you're like, oh crap, I thought about it too late. Somebody else is doing it. Unless you put your own spin on it, I'm sure there's room out there definitely for more mock-ups and that kind of thing. Maybe in a different sense, different models, different kind of thing like that. So yeah, sweet obsessed. So a lot of people who have print-on-demand stores that become successful eventually sell mock-ups as their second store. Yeah, that's honestly, I think it's genius. It's a genius move, and it's very smart. I think so. Hey, Dragon Rider, how you doing? Yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. If your cousin sells on Etsy, in the print-on-demand space, or even just in general, I mean, yeah, that's definitely. I think that would be a great idea. Just to kind of share some of the knowledge and the information we're getting. Nice, 19. We got it. How you guys doing out there? That's totally true, right? Do affiliate marketing for print on demand. Yeah, Dragon Rider. So that's a good question. So besides Etsy, where can you sell digital products? So your own website. Yep, you can absolutely definitely sell on your own website. So if you wanted to do your own website, that could mean like a Shopify store. That is, kind of list like as your own website. You could do like a Patreon. I know there's a hey, mine. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Hey, we're actually talking about digital products here, selling digital products. So, no, I definitely do not think dropshipping is dead, but we actually kind of talked about dropshipping a couple weeks ago. But yeah, feel free to stick around and hang out for digital products. So, yeah, so sorry, Dragon Rider. So I was gonna say, your own store could be a Shopify, but it also could be something like your own website that could link out to like a PayPal or a Stripe, or it could link out to a print-on-demand store like an Etsy. You can use Patreon to sell digital products. You can use Buy Me a Coffee. You can use Ko-fi. So there's actually quite a few. Oh, I forgot Gumroad is another one. There's quite a few platforms that you can set up a store and actually sell through. So I think it's just a matter of a what you're going to sell, but B also you want to see, okay, what are the fees associated with actually setting up a store? What's the most user friendly, and what can you navigate, or what do you feel like you can have the most success with as far as like you know having the least amount of learning curve possible? So yep, that's right, that's right. Well, yep. Have you used them before? Thank you, Sweetums, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've heard of those guys. Well, I haven't really like dug in, but do you have any experience with that site? Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so once you kind of figure out, what the type of product is, then you want to start creating like the high quality content or software. Um, and you can use the best tools that we like to talk about here is for sure is Canva. And the reason that we talk about Canva has thousands of templates for anything you can imagine, including stuff that you could potentially sell as digital products. So, oh, okay, cool. Well, you got a product from there. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, no, anytime. I mean, seriously, anytime we can share, um, some new tools is awesome. Because I've heard of them, but I actually haven't like dug in at all. So, um, yep. So then when it comes to setting up an online store, we kind of talked about this just now, in terms of whether it be Shopify. Shopify is definitely, in my opinion, the leader in the e-commerce space for stores. So basically, what you would do is you would pay your monthly fee, whatever that was, in order to keep your Shopify store up and running. You would most likely get a custom domain and then link it. So anybody who goes to your domain would go right to your Shopify store. Obviously, you can do the same with Etsy. Um, so the difference between like Shopify or your own website is that you're gonna have to find your own traffic in order to route your traffic to your digital products, whether that be through actual paid ad marketing, social media marketing, spreading the word around, word of mouth, that kind of thing, or maybe some different forums or websites that you visit, or maybe some groups that you're a part of. You can kind of get the word out, but something like an Etsy or like even like a Patreon. I mean, those are kind of things where Etsy brings the traffic to you. So a Patreon is more of like you have your community, kind of like you're following your fan base, however you want to call it. They'll come to you. So if you have a big enough following, then you I think that cuts down on some of the marketing. So man, we're doing awesome with these likes. You guys are doing a great job. We're already up to 17. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're only like, what is that? Not even half an hour in. I swear, every time I look at this, my eyes get like crossed. Yeah, you guys are rocking it. So, um, so what? Yeah, no, that's a great suggestion. Well, using Pinterest for marketing, I like Pinterest a lot because, you know, it to me just personally like there's no fluff, there's no like yeah, overall there's no negativity, there's no kind of like a noise. I mean, it's just like you have these high quality images, high quality videos, and you just kind of they just kind of are out there and they're on a board. And I think it's fairly easy, like the learning curve is fairly easy, in order to like, basically work your way around Pinterest. But in terms of marketing and coming up with the best looking pin and what's going to actually like draw people in and stop them from scrolling, that's a little bit more of a different story. I mean, that definitely takes, gaining experience and learning and kind of doing some trial and error. But I think, yeah, I agree. Well, Pinterest definitely is a platform to where you can absolutely maximize, the eyeballs on whatever it is. So you effectively basically just you let's just say, for example, you're doing print on demand, right? So you just create some mock-ups yourself if you don't want to buy a mock-up and kind of put it together that way. If you want to create your own mock-up and then create as much of a like a stunning kind of like eye-catching pin that you could, create that, and then that way, if you put in your tags in there, you put in your title with the keywords and the description. That's a great idea. I mean, you can absolutely use Pinterest or leverage Pinterest in order to market for sure. And it doesn't have to cost anything. That's the thing. I mean, it could be totally free. And I think at that point, that's a win, especially when you're just getting started, when you're trying to just get the word out about whatever your products are. Um, I would personally just focus on free. I wouldn't, although it might seem enticing to kind of jump the gun and pay for paid ads, but I think if you don't know what you're doing with paid ads and you're not really familiar with kind of the inner workings, I'm not going to say you might lose money. I mean, you could lose money, but you just want to maximize, your efforts and put your dollar in the most effective place, really. So along with when we kind of think about, okay, if you're going to create your own website and it's going to reroute to Shopify, you definitely want to have the store, obviously, right? Like the Shopify store. So you want to kind of make that as professional and looking neat and organized and structured as you possibly can. Or what you can do if you didn't want to do like a Shopify store and you had your own actual website that you built like from like a template, or you built from scratch, or WordPress or something like that, then you can just have like a landing page, basically like a one page one page website where you just basically have all this information, and then you can put in some photos, some videos, um, and you can basically explain what it is that you're trying to sell. So there's so many different payment processors like PayPal, Stripe. Those are the two big ones that I would recommend, that you can integrate into your website. So you don't absolutely need to have Shopify. It's not like, Shopify's make it or break it. So yeah, Dragon Rider. So Shopify does have templates, for creating sales pages. I would say they're more kind of like maybe themes as far as like setting up your store. So I think they might be less about an individual type of landing page and more about, the whole kind of package, I think. So, but yeah, they might have one-offs, but let me rephrase that. When I was doing Shopify a couple years ago, like 2017, 18, they only seem to have like themes, like the full theme, but they may definitely have landing pages that you could kind of, use and customize a little bit. But so those are just a couple different ways you can kind of look at it. Um, and then obviously, we talked about setting up your payment gateway. So So Shopify does. It depends if you use. So Shopify has their own payment processor. I think it's called Shopify Payments. I think. I don't know if that's Stripe. It might be Stripe actually. Let's see what payment processor does. I think it might be Stripe. Okay, so it looks like. Okay, so Shopify Payments is the actual name of the built-in payment gateway. It's powered by Stripe and integrated in the Shopify dashboard. Um, yep. Okay. So let me see how much it takes. I thought it was something like five something percent. I'm not sure, but I think it really goes based on like what kind of payment method you're using. Like a credit card, I think it might charge more. So how much does Shopify? Okay. All right, so it looks like okay. So here we go. So it looks like there's three different plans, for Shopify. So you have a basic plan, right? So they would charge, 2.9% plus 30 cents for online domestic credit card purchases. So that basically means in the United States, and that's on the basic plan. So you have the basic plan, you have the Shopify plan, and you have the advanced Shopify plan. So those are the three different plans you can get for Shopify. So we're just gonna assume you're on the basic plan, because that's kind of like the most entry level plan. So okay, so there would be 2.9% Shopify would take, obviously of the whatever the product is, and then 30 cents for, domestic credit card purchases, um, and 3.9% for international or American Express card purchases. So it looks like about basically between 2.9% and for, domestic US and 3.9% for international. So um, yeah, so they basically take the flat percent, but then they also take, 30 cents if you're using a credit card. So yeah, no, that's a good question. I think that's something that might get overlooked occasionally. I think in terms of, you know when you're trying to figure out your expenses and what everything is going to look like, I think that might be overlooked as far as people not fully understanding, like, okay, well, I'm already paying the 29 whatever 99 or 39.99, whatever it is. um, why is Shopify charging me more? But they have to also charge for the credit card transactions because they get charged for those too. So all right, so we talked about the payment gateways, so now let's kind of dive into pricing your product. So this is something I think that can be overwhelming, but at the same time, I think it doesn't have to really be something that's, too, um, like that's kind of worrying you too much or like getting you too overwhelmed. So the first thing that I would do, And definitely, if you guys have any other suggestions, please interrupt and just let me know what your thoughts are. But the first thing I would do is research my competitors' pricing. So basically, find whatever bestsellers are, whatever you know is working, whatever it's selling. It doesn't matter what the product is. Um, everything from an ebook, to print on demand, to templates, to graphics, whatever it is. Um, See about what the competitor is offering as far as the price goes versus, okay, whatever it is, to try to match that competitor's price, maybe even go down a little tiny bit. And that's kind of how you might get your intro pricing. So then you want to consider what your cost is, right? And of course, we're talking about a digital product, so the cost is basically more in your time. So consider your cost in time, but also like the perceived value of what the product is. So you don't want to sell yourself too short, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it's not like really out of reach for people where they're like, dang, this is a template for, like an online planner and it's $100. That's crazy expensive or whatever, that kind of thing. So you really kind of have to bring yourself down a little bit, just kind of put your eyes in the mind of the consumer and the customer and think like, okay, if I was going out there and I wanted to buy something or I wanted to buy this template, whatever it is, um, would I pay for that? Is that how's the price on that? So, oh, that's a great suggestion, Sweetums. So on Etsy, it helps to start with an introductory price that's slightly lower than the competitors. And when your listing gets a higher viability score, you scale up. That's perfect. I mean, that's the thing, that when you kind of think about that, I mean, not only does that make sense, it's like common sense too. It's just like, okay, set the price a little bit lower, but when you start taking off, or if any products really start of kind of kick in and start selling, then you can slowly raise it up a little bit. Visibility score. Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries, no problem. So I think that's something that, um, it kind of like maybe in the beginning you're kind of like racking your brain, you're trying to figure out, well, crap, like how do I do this, how do I do that, how do I price it so it's competitive? But I think maybe oftentimes in general we think like too long and too hard about that. You can just get at whatever your competitor score is, just kind of get it, or get more than just one store, kind of like just get a sense. So that way you can, Sweetum says, that way you can speed up the bestseller status on a listing too. Oh, that's a great idea. That's definitely something that I think is like an insider tip, somebody who has been doing it, so they understand kind of the inner workings of not only the exposure but the strategy too, the marketing strategy. And then you can charge more since, oh, that's perfect. Once it has a bestseller badge. So you basically, so a bestseller badge, Sweetums, definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but bestseller badge definitely is like a stamp of approval from Etsy, basically saying, I mean, besides the obvious that the product is selling, but Etsy basically says, okay, we recognize this product is selling more than, maybe some of the other things in your store or whatever. So we're gonna put this badge, our seal of approval on it, in terms of we're gonna validate, Etsy's gonna validate that it is a bestseller, that kind of thing. And when other customers and other people come to see that, they're like, wait a minute, if other people are buying it, then it's got to be good, or it's got to be worth it. Because why would Etsy put the stamp or the seal of approval as a bestseller on it? So I definitely think that could easily work in your favor in terms of getting more exposure too. Because I'm sure that Etsy would want to push, the bestsellers, right? Oh yeah, that's true, Sweetums, right? And based on sales and reviews, people would use that social proof to buy from you your item over the competition. Uh, I gotta say though, I mean, because I'm not in that world, so it's easy for me to kind of just, I guess, kind of give a little bit of my thoughts, but it definitely sounds like, I don't want to say it's obviously like, because I know how difficult it is, and the learning curve is very, very steep if you're not used to doing this, if you're not used to kind of, figuring out and playing the Etsy game. But this definitely sounds like very doable in sense of like, once you kind of know this and you kind of go with the strategy, then you can kind of take it and run with it, I think. And really just test it, right? It's all about testing. So testing, kind of see what works. Do like, it's all about like the old trial and error. I mean, that's kind of how you have to run it. Which I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's one of those things where I think the only way to really kind of figure some of this stuff out is to try and okay, well, this wasn't successful, or I didn't get the results that I was hoping for on this and this and this. So either I lower the price or I change this or tweak that. So yep. Yeah, absolutely, Sweetums, definitely. Yeah, Qmo. Okay, so what tools or software can you use besides Canva to create digital products? So what you can do is obviously really there's multiple photo editing softwares out there. You know, obviously we talk about Canva a lot. Kittl is another one. Kittl is another one. Um, there's something like if you have a PC, I know that there's a standalone product. It's called GIMP, so it's GIMP, GIMP, and it's basically like a light version of Photoshop that's free. You can use something like that. The reason that I tend to lean more towards these web-based products and tools is because they have all the templates built in, um, or not all of them, but you know they have templates that are built in, and you can kind of take inspiration from them. Um, but it doesn't mean that you can't use something like a Photoshop or you know an Illustrator. But you have to really kind of come up with the idea yourself versus going to a platform like a Canva or like a Kittl or like you know something like that. Even maybe like Photoshop in the cloud might have templates that you can use. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Sweetums. I forgot what that was called. So Photopea is also a great online tool. Um, it's like a free version of Photoshop. That one, if anybody out there is looking for a Photoshop, basically a mini Photoshop, definitely check that out. Photopea right there. These are the different kinds of little tips and tricks that come out of these live streams, which is so cool. Yeah, Dragon Rider. So as far as so how would you deal with refunds or returns for digital products? So because it's not something that is going to be like physically returned, um, you know, there's always a way that you could say, um, you know, put a disclaimer maybe on the listing itself and just say, you know, this is being sold as is, um, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe set it to where it's something to where you want to make sure that you know if somebody's really not happy with, you know, it can't, it's kind of hard to tell because you can't really if it's like, you know, something that you created through, you know, a PDF or, you know, some sort of a template. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that it's not what you thought it was going to be because if you take, you know, really high quality images and put them on your listing, you know, whether it be like in a mock-up sense or just actual visual screenshots of what the product is, um, it's hard to argue that you don't know the customer doesn't know what it's going to look like, you know. So that's a good yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Sweetums. Definitely for courses. I mean, um, sometimes it might have a 7 day trial period. I've seen 7, I've seen 14-day trial periods. Not too much longer than 14 days though, I think. Sometimes maybe it's a month, but for an online course, I think it's a little bit different than buying like just a straight digital product like a graphic or like a template, that kind of thing. Because it's fairly easy to actually see, okay, what am I buying? It's an actual digital product like this, you know, not necessarily like a course to where you're kind of going in and oh, if I don't learn what I think I'm gonna learn, you know. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head, Sweetums, is like, how do you get a refund on like an image? I mean, it's kind of like sold as is, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, it's really hard to like, you can't really return an image, that kind of thing, or even like a template. I mean, so those are definitely, and I think the flip side of that is these things are typically sold cheaper. So I think hopefully there's less people that are wanting to return them. I mean, and not that you could return an image or a template, but there's less people that would want to return them because the price is cheaper. So Hey Jack, how you doing, man? Thanks for popping in. Hey, what can we help you with? What are you looking for? Yeah, so QMO, so how would you handle the customer service side of digital sales? So I would say what I would do is make sure that whatever the website was that you're actually selling from, at some point there you want to have some sort of, customer service policy in terms of, okay, this is my contact information. If you have any questions, um, maybe state some sort of verbiage or write out a little kind of disclaimer that says, please reach out. Here's the email address that you can contact me at if you have any questions before buying, because some of these digital products are as is, or once you buy it, there's no refunds or exchanges. So I think setting the precedent and really being very clear and transparent about what your policy is, whatever that means. So whatever kind of policy, returns or refunds policy that you might have for whatever product. Um, but I think to simplify that down, just engage with somebody, talk to them, communicate with them. Um, Assuming you don't have like some sort of disclaimer, but I think regardless, even if you do, you can still reach out as from a human being to human being and kind of talk to them and say, okay, what are you concerned about? What are you not happy with? That kind of thing, and try to work something out. And then what you do is you point them to basically the verbiage that says all sales are final, depending on what the product is that they purchased. So that's kind of how I'd work that. Bookie, back in the house. Hey, Bookie, how you doing? Bookie back. We've been looking for some reps, I think. So we got one. We got our very own rep right here. Yeah, these are definitely great questions. So when you're talking about, again with like pricing your product, um, experiment with different pricing strategies. So it could be like a one-time payment, um, could be a subscription-based model, depending on what it is. If it's a software, typically it's going to be a subscription based model. It could be like, a lifetime kind of subscription where you pay one payment and you have lifetime subscription access, or it could be like a reoccurring monthly. So it's really just going to be solely dependent upon what the product is and how are you going to actually market it and decide, how are you going to sell it, or what's the best strategy for you. Whether or not that means, to make the most money, whatever that means, whatever that looks like for you. That's kind of how you're going to kind of go with that, or how you would approach it, I should say. So, all right. So now we're talking about the ever popular how to market your product. Oh, okay. Before I do that, Bookie's got a question. So, what about bundles? I've seen some influencers collab together to sell their ebooks as a bundle. Yeah, I think depending on what platform they're using collectively, you I would imagine, I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine, well, like, would you probably have to sell the same, like, we'll just use ebook because that was the example. Would you have to sell the same ebook on the same platform in order to say we're going to do a bundle? Versus like, okay, well, I have an ebook on Etsy, and then person B has an ebook on, we'll just say Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how you would kind of bundle it. Oh, okay, they were vegan ebooks. Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to think, how would you bundle it if they weren't on the same platform? Just in terms of, offering somebody a deal. So if you buy this book and this book, then we'll give you, X amount of money off or whatever, 20% off or 20% discount, that kind of thing. So I think that's important to definitely any kind of way that you can collab with another content creator and you're both earning some sort of money, um, profit from this. So. Oh, got it. Okay. So all those the YouTube vegans had one platform. Got it. Had it on one platform. Okay. and you could download it as a package. So they all probably got together and said, okay, well, we're just going to pool all of these, all of these products together, and then we'll say we'll sell it for X amount of money, and then we're going to split it, let's just say 4 ways or 5 ways or whatever, however many content creators were involved. So maybe they just picked like, one person to be like the point person, and they all advertise it individually. So you got force fed. Oh, geez. Yeah, no, I can understand that. I mean, you definitely kind of go with that strategy in order to get it. Even though you're collabing with other people, I mean, if you're a follower of all those individuals, then that might seem like a lot to kind of get, exposed to. Like, oh man, I heard it from person A, and now person B is, talking about this ebook collaboration. But I think in terms of if there's, you know, in a sense, a YouTuber that has maybe like a smaller audience, then you can definitely benefit from the exposure from larger YouTubers if you're into that group and you're in that collab group. So in terms of, maybe you just might get like a smaller cut of like the profit, that kind of thing. Yeah. Kumo, so definitely the best digital selling products right now are definitely ebooks of any kind on any niche. I would say ebooks, templates. Same goes for templates. So yeah, so any kind of template. So whether it be like a blank journal template, it could be a template for maybe like a to-do list or like a calendar, something you can kind of fill out. Those are really big, not only for like planning that kind of thing, but also as far as the planner and the calendar, those could go hand in hand, but those could also be separate. Um, so those are big. And then any kind of template as far as creating maybe like an outline or some sort of checklist for, if you wanted to, let's just say, start a YouTube channel or start a store or how to create a Shopify store, as far as the instructions that kind of teach you step by step. I've seen that too. So, really, a tutorial or education based digital product also is definitely a hot seller. And that really kind of goes like all year round. Um, but those are really the top choices, I would say. So, Sweetum says, "Oh yeah, I've even seen meal planners, travel checklists, and shopping list templates on Etsy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how, I mean, all of that stuff, right? All that stuff definitely is something that could sell and does sell, right? It's all about just kind of, if there's a million and one planners, how do you actually set yourself apart? I've even seen like wall art, like people that create um, like AI generated images, and then they basically like print that as wall art. I've seen that too, to where just printing on different like mediums, different canvases, and that kind of thing, posters. So that's also something like you could set as far as, I've seen prompts and like these like a chat GPT, that kind of thing. I've seen people sell like, what are the best prompts to get, um, for whatever you're trying to do. So whatever the niche is, they would give you like maybe 50 to 100 prompts that you could type in, and this is the result that it would give you. Or if you're trying to ask ChatGPT to give you some information about this, you could put all the prompts in, um, like a PDF or that kind of thing, and almost kind of sell it as like, a PDF downloadable, that kind of thing. Hey, well, welcome back. All right, so Drag Router asks, can you use affiliate marketing to boost your own sales? So I think it really depends on how you would kind of how you would use affiliate marketing in terms of, because if your product itself is not necessarily set up on a affiliate marketplace, then you probably couldn't like directly use affiliate marketing. But if you did list your product on one of these big platforms, um, you could, that would kind of be like a twofold win. So people could, you can make money when people are affiliates of of your product, but also at the same time, people could download it like separately on their own, whether through your website or through Etsy, depending on what marketplace you go through or what platform. But so I think in like the traditional sense of affiliate marketing, I can't really think of a way that you could leverage affiliate marketing as a whole to kind of like get more sales, unless you uploaded whatever the product was to an affiliate marketplace, and then you could kind of, reap the rewards from both sides. And that kind of dives into marketing your product. So when you're talking about developing a strategy, you really want to think about, okay, the content marketing side, as far as what are you actually going to be producing to get the word out about this? Is it going to be videos? Is it going to be, maybe like posters or like promo images, that kind of thing? Obviously, social media is a incredibly powerful tool that you definitely should be taking advantage of and leveraging. Um, and then, of course, email marketing is something that I think is almost like, in a sense, like an underrated, like people don't think about it as much. So you spend this time collecting these email addresses, and you could easily market your product or products through your email list. So, and the cool thing about that is when people buy it or when they opt in and they actually put in their email address, that means that you are covered basically in terms of, no, there's no law that can come after you saying, oh, well, this person didn't opt in. Well, in terms of like an anti-spam kind of thing, kind of law. So email marketing, I think, is an incredibly powerful. As long as you're building up an audience, then it's an incredibly powerful tool. I think to further leverage, not just your product itself, but also kind of going back to affiliate marketing as well, and putting your affiliate links in the actual, email or the newsletter or whatever you're producing. So yeah, another thing you. So sorry, Kumo, I almost looked right over your question. So how would you build an email list for marketing? So basically, you can go to there's a different like platforms that you can use to build your basically your email list, build the functionality, collect emails, landing pages. So you have things like Mailchimp. You have Aweber is another website. Here, let me post these here. So for email marketing, you could use Mailchimp. You could use Aweber. You could use System.io. That's one of my favorite ones that I've gotten into recently, as far as everything being free. We kind of covered that. I think when we talked about blogging. Do you guys remember, Sweetums? Do you remember when we talked about that one? Um, I can't remember how long ago it was when we started that one, when we talked about it. But those are definitely all free options in terms of. Um, sorry, let me see. Okay, I'm just taking a look. Okay. Okay, I'm just logging in here real quick. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely true. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. I didn't see what you guys said. Yeah. Substack, Beehive, ConvertKit. Yep. And you can definitely provide more information in your email as well. So that's also a great. There's a lot of tools out there. I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, how do you like the layout of the platform? Is it easy to use, easy to sign up? I mean, what is the cap on on how many email subscribers you can have? Most people I know start with like a free account. So some places, like I know Aweber, I think they cap you with like 500, and you can only create like one email swipe like template. That's why I liked going over to System.io, because it allows you to collect 2,000 emails with a free account, which is pretty incredible. So that's a great way to at least start out and kind of start your email marketing experience and gain more knowledge and skills. Yeah, Dragon Rider. I've heard of that too. Constant Contact. I think I used that in like a past life before. So, oh, so you use it, but you didn't like it. Okay. So what do you think about it? I mean, what do you think? Was there something specific that you were like, yeah, I don't for whatever, is there anything you can share your experience wise as to why you didn't like it? Just curious, just so you can help others kind of understand maybe to kind of have people get a sense of, you know. Okay, it was clunky and outdated. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's more than a that's more than a enough of a reason, right, to not use it. Absolutely. So I agree. I mean, something to me has to be very, very simple, very user friendly, and very simple to kind of follow, you know. Oh, and the templates are hard to work and they're very limiting and ugly. Yeah, those are great reasons why not to use it. So, anybody out there that's watching this, either live or on the replay, just kind of take some notes of that. So, just think about that when you're looking for like an email marketing tool. You really want to make sure that you find something that is easy to follow, easy to understand, you know, almost in a sense like drag and not doesn't have to be drag and drop, but like, you know, that sort of simplicity when you're setting up, you know, email campaigns just for the ones that have no experience doing it. Tell us how you really feel. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have so on the flip side of that, you know, because I know Dragon Rider just gave their assessment. Does anybody have any personal email marketing platforms that they would recommend that they've used? They're like either something that you're using actively or something you've used in the past that you liked or that you know seem to work well for you. I'm just curious out there what you guys have used. Okay, so Sweetums, you tried Mailchimp. You know what? I think I've tried Mailchimp too, actually. So hey, webpage coder, how you doing? Thank you so much for taking time to drop a comment. Okay, got it. So you tried Aweber, it's not the best. You know what? I did. I tried Aweber as well. It was last like within the last year and a half or so, but I just did it on a free account. So I only had I think up to like 500 emails that I could collect in like really just one email campaign with like a landing page. It also looked outdated, to be honest. So I was like, I don't know. Um, Webpage coder, what is your like? What is your assessment? Like, I mean, you know, I know you said it's not the best, but is it something that you possibly could recommend? Or, yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, it is. Especially the free version is super limited. Yeah. I mean, and I understand, you know, companies want to really like kind of just give you enough of like the dangling carrot type thing where they like kind of draw you in and then they're like, okay, if you want like the good stuff, you got to pay. But I just didn't like the layout. I don't know. I did try Aweber too, and I used it for a little bit. Um, oh, that's cool. Whoa, so you heard good things about Get Response. Okay, I've heard about those guys. I actually haven't done any like digging on them or any really seen anything with them, but yeah, pay ones are better. Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, to be honest, they all pretty much do the same kind of things. I mean, it's really about how many emails can you collect? You know, what are the landing pages like as far as like drag and drop and putting it together? The ease of use as far as somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, to walk you through like creating a campaign and creating those really the email marketing automation, the automation side of it, you know. So, and I do think that that is it could be more of like a personal preference as far as like you know what you choose what you look because everybody likes you know something a little bit different but so I mean I don't necessarily think there's anything really bad with any of them just you know more personal preference the look the visual you know how the user interface is that kind of thing. Oh, okay, got it. Web page coder. So you can't nail down your freebie offer. Got it. You mean for like when you're talking about email marketing, you like you have a freebie offer for your email list or your like customers or like your audience? Is that kind of what you're referring to? Or the freebie offer for like the platform itself? Oh, right on. Cool. Well, congratulations first off and good luck. That's very cool. Starting off as a web designer. That's super cool. Got it. Okay. Yeah, you need to attract clients. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think really what it is kind of like with some of these other tools. I mean, um, really, the problem with it kind of being a trial and error. I mean, some of these, like you get a little bit of experience, and then you have enough exposure to the tool to where you can kind of make your own personal like assessment. Like, oh, I don't like this because of this and this. The problem is, I know you took all that effort to set everything up, right? All of your automations, all of your pages, that whole kind of thing. So I know that can be frustrating to like export your list and all that and start somewhere new, but I think you're going to do whatever suits you, whatever fits you, and whatever is in, you know, the best interest of you in order to grow, your list, grow your business, grow whatever it is, whatever you're trying to accomplish with an email list. So, um, anybody out there, have you guys had success as far as marketing to an email list in terms of getting sales, getting leads, getting calls, whatever it is? Has anybody had like actual true success through like leveraging your email list? I'm just curious. I got started on Aweber when I did it like a year and a half ago or so, and I didn't have anybody buy anything, or I tried to do some like light affiliate marketing, but I didn't really get any traction. So I'm just curious if you guys anybody got any traction from any of those. Oh wow, that's cool, Sweetums. I mean, that's kind of neat, right? Somebody used to sold auction items to their email list. That's pretty unique. I've actually never heard of something like that before. I mean, that sounds like a great way to actually to take advantage of, an email list. Whatever your niche is or whatever you're trying to accomplish with an email list. I mean, that's cool. I definitely think that's cool. I mean, any unique way, I think, to be able to try to accomplish that is definitely something that is positive. And obviously, you want it to work as best you can, but so, oh, that's cool. That's actually cool. That makes a lot of sense as far as like using it for charity and then selling tickets to events. That I can actually see that being very, very like a successful way to do email marketing for sure. Especially if you're opting into something and it's centered around something like a charity or like, donation based giving, that kind of thing. I can see that going hand in hand. So I'm sure that did really well because you figure why would you sign up, to be on the list if you weren't really interested or at least wanted to learn more information about XYZ, whatever it was. So yeah, yeah, I do. I do remember Eventbrite. Yeah. Yeah, is that Sweetums, is that where it was through? Where the events were through Eventbrite? Hey QMO, so yeah, do you need SEO to sell digital products? To be honest, I think it can't hurt, and I'm definitely want to say yes for sure, because I think really what it's going to do is it's not only it's going to improve your visibility, but I think it's not mandatory. Oh, I just saw Whoa pop in say no, but it helps. Yeah, it's not mandatory, but I think it absolutely can increase your visibility and increase, maybe your reach to people that maybe normally either don't know about you or don't know how to find you. That's ways that it could kind of maybe like draw some traffic in towards you, that kind of thing, versus actually you reaching out and kind of like in a sense cold calling these people. I don't really mean calling on the phone, but like reaching out, cold calling, like people that you've never had an interaction with before. So I definitely think SEO can boost your reach and your visibility, especially with how you're going to do it. Really creating a strategy. So if it's social media, then adding like tags, adding keywords in your title, your description, even putting like the metadata in the images, like actually naming. I can't remember who it was. Somebody suggested it. Actually naming the image, when you're saving the image, name it the keyword or name it some sort of a keyword so you can gain. That's also another piece of SEO. So that's also something that's kind of like a little golden nugget is, when you're doing images, specifically like on a blog website, if you have like featured images, you can put in like a keyword there. So, oh, okay, sweet. So, yeah, I had to design it with all the same branding from the event page to the email template to their website, so it looked coordinated. Yep. I think that's important. That kind of goes back to, what we talked about in the past is in this 30-day challenge is like keeping everything branded and everything very consistent, but like symmetrical, that type of thing to where everything is when you see, a Facebook page and then you connect that to the YouTube page and you connect that to the Pinterest page and so forth. Like, once you see the logo or mainly the logo or the colors that you can associate that with, okay, this is brand 123. So I think that's incredibly, incredibly important. That's so funny, Kumo. It's like we're literally we're on the same wavelength. Yep. So that definitely brand identity definitely does play a big part in terms of when you're thinking about digital product, you wanted something to be relatable and you want it to be someone to take it seriously and know that this is a quality product. It's not just like some piece of crap that you're trying to sell. You want it to be something that there's a demand for it, but also by the same thing that's very useful and it's very practical. That somebody can use and they can actually take advantage of. Because if they buy it and they're like, "Oh crap, I just bought this, but it doesn't really serve any purpose," then in return, you're going to have angry customers and this. And then, you could see how that could go downhill quickly. But as long as it's practical, you stay on brand and you want to make sure that customers recognize your brand for what it is and they know that you put out high quality products and these templates that you have or mock-ups or whatever you're doing is going to be stellar quality, then I think you're putting yourself in the best position for not only success but also to grow and to scale the business that you have that you're starting to build. So yeah, so Dragon Matter asks, how would you make a high quality product? Like, how do you gauge that? So I think the best place to start is similarly to what we were talking about before with the mock-ups and the print on demand stuff is you go and you search out the best sellers. So you basically whatever platform you're on, once you decide whatever the product is that you're going to be creating, we'll just start with one for this example. Let's just say it's a calendar or like a journal. We'll just say it's a journal. So once you have the idea that okay, I'm going to build a journal or I'm going to create a journal template, you go to the best sellers, you sort by them, you kind of figure out, this is sold, how many tens or how many hundreds of thousands of products. and you really analyze it. You pull it up, you see all the images, you see what it looks like. Um, you really get a sense of what's the color as far as like the color combinations they use, how many colors, what kind of fonts, are they really big, are they small, the layout, are the little squares easy to like, write in, does it just look like something, I mean, for lack of a better term, would it just look like something you would buy in a store, like a store would sell, because they're not going to sell like a piece of crap. So I think getting inspiration from bestsellers is probably your best bet in terms of how to gauge what a high quality product is. And I'll always, never ever steal what anybody has already created. They put the time and the energy into creating it, but you can take inspiration from it. So yeah, that's so true, Sweetum. So I've heard about, what is it called? The color wheel, I think. The color wheel, where it has like colors on a, basically on a wheel on a circle, and then it has like your complementary colors, and then it has colors that definitely go together, but also ones that you should stay away from that don't go. That's a big part of it too. I think is making sure that your brand is consistent but also recognizable. So, oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true, Sweetums. You can have themed palettes like fall color, summer, and so forth. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, in order to have, when you're going through and you're building your template, um, that's true. That is true. So if you want to design that way, for example, maybe you're designing a journal and you can say, okay, well, this journal for sure is going to be winter and winter themed, and maybe I want to do like light blues and maybe purples or whites or whatever it is, light gray or whatever you want to put in there, and you really have it very wintry type, kind of, I don't want to say snowman themed really, but like winter themed, and then maybe as you're moving into spring, you have more flowers and grass and little things flying around, that you want to put on there. And then as you move into summer, so forth, you kind of glean the, you think about what is the association with the different seasons for that example, like that Sweetums kind of mentioned. So that's kind of piggybacking off of what Sweetums was speaking of. So yeah, there's a lot to kind of think about, um, as far as actually designing it and putting it together. But yeah, that is true, Sweetums. I mean, Canva. That's one of the reasons why. Um, I never get tired of talking about Canva, but I do use Canva literally every single day, for some different portion of what I'm doing online. Um, and a lot of it has to do with graphics and coming up with like, for example, building thumbnails or whatever, coming up with templates and kind of basically piecemealing different templates together, trying out different fonts, trying out, adding some of my own images in there. It's a phenomenal resource, not to mention the free account that you can get with Canva is stellar. I mean, it's just, it's not as limiting as some other platforms free account. So yeah, so Kimo asks, what if you're launching a new digital product? What is an effective strategy to roll it out? So when you think about rolling out a new product, so do we, I guess we kind of assume, do you have an audience? Either you have an audience or you're starting from scratch. So if you're going to start from scratch, I would definitely say get a couple different um, visual images of what do you want to present, or what do you want, the mock-up or the featured images to look like, and make sure those are rock solid and those really sell what you're actually trying to get across, get the point across as to what this uh, digital product looks like. So, and then I would definitely take advantage of all the social media. So you want to, do Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, especially Pinterest and Instagram, because those are a lot more, I think, visually, not just like stunning, but visually, like centric platforms. So Facebook, not as much, but I feel like people do more sharing on Facebook, depending on if it's like specific things. So you might be able to kind of leverage that too. So I would say figure out what the product is, and then I would take your best images to show off the product in terms of what's the digital product, and then just hit as many social media platforms as you can on your accounts, and then you can kind of go at it that way, and make sure to use your hashtags when you can, your description, your title. Hey, webpage coder, yeah, no problem. No, you're good. So please advise what the topic was. Yeah, no worries. So today's topic is actually about selling digital products. So that's what the topic is today for our 30-day challenge. So we're currently in a 30-day challenge. Today's day 19, where we go live every single day and talk about a different business model. So yeah, we're really happy that you're here. No problem. Okay, so Bookie says, what about creating a sense of urgency too? Yeah, I think there's something to be said about creating. It's almost like a FOMO, that kind of thing, like fear of missing out in terms of, you know, hey, there's an urgency, but also like a scarcity. Like we don't have many of these left, which, I mean, I don't know how you could really swing that if it's a digital product. I mean, you can really kind of swing it anyway, but if it's not a physical product, how do you run out of it? But you could label it or approach it as a limited edition, that kind of thing. So you're only going to be selling it to like maybe the first 100 people. You can kind of phrase it that way. Um, but yeah, no. So yeah, buy it at this introductory price for a limited time only. That's also a great strategy too. So you basically set it at a much lower price, and you can start from there. So yeah, yeah, you're welcome, webpage coder. No problem. Thank you so much. We're happy you're here. I appreciate it. Yeah, Sweetums, definitely. What's the if you don't mind sharing the Etsy tactic to double your sales? I'm totally down to hear that. Okay, so you set a daily sale for 24 hours so customers can see the countdown clock. And then they feel the urgency that there's only 5 hours left for the sale. I love that. I love that. That is super like super strategic in terms of like the psychology behind, holy crap, I need to take advantage of this sale because it's only available for another 5 hours, 2 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is. No, that's pretty genius right there. But you just roll out the sale again the next day, but they wouldn't know because they're not there every day. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that totally, I mean, I'm sure that works wonders in terms of really kind of sparking that like, oh crap, I'm gonna miss out on this if I don't act now. So you're really kind of, I think, are you really drawing from like the impulsivity of people? Like you really want them to make an like impulsive decision, like right there in that moment, and just boom, make the decision instead of like, oh, I'll kind of wait. I got to talk about it with my family or my spouse or whatever. Instead, boom, just pull the trigger because you don't want to miss out on it, especially if it's something that you really want or you think it's really cool or whatever it is, and you got to have it right now, like that instant gratification. That's a golden nugget. So anybody who out there may be taking notes, or you guys are, interested in Etsy or even just any other type of, e-commerce, think about that. Think about that strategy. Maybe you can implement it into your own scenario. Oh, that's a good one too. If you have a daily 25% off sale, you actually mark up the price by 25%. So really, you're marking up the price by 25%, but you're really getting it at that higher price, but the customer thinks they're getting a deal, a 25% off because I mean, in reality, right? They're not going to go digging and figure out like, "Oh, am I really getting a deal or I can see visually that I'm getting a deal because they're telling me I'm getting a deal." So, I like that because that totally ties into the psychology of the buyer perspective and the buyer like instinct, just the natural kind of like I think, visceral reaction of people wanting to like have something now, 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 you know. And as long as your price is competitive, they'll like that they're getting a sale and it's pure. Oh yeah, that is perfect. Like business 101 tactics, like marketing. Seriously, like what a great strategy, Sweetums. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Are you guys like anybody that's watching this live? Like, do you guys like this? Is this like cool? I mean, it, I don't mean that in like a cheesy way, but like, is it really seriously like beneficial? Is it helpful? If you guys are liking this, definitely for sure, like, you know, show some support by hitting that like button. That we would definitely appreciate that. You know, on like kind of like on a side note, one of the things I was thinking of is like this whole challenge has been so interesting because yeah, almost 20 likes. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. One of the most interesting thing I think about this entire challenge is just a simple fact that like not only are we, you know, interacting, we're learning new things all the time, but every none of the days are the same, right? So the topics are obviously different. There's some similarities, you know, finding a niche and the audience and all that, but like for the most part, all these business models are like totally different. So that's a cool part is you can go through the entire 30-day challenge and be like, that one sounds cool. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. You know, and really kind of pick and choose. Um, and I just hope that, you know, a lot of these have really opened up your guys' eyes to like what is possible. What can you really do? There are ways to make money online, and it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be, you know, this big monster that's kind of hiding in the closet kind of thing. Um, nice. We just hit 20 likes. I just saw. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this big crazy thing. I mean, going back and taking a look at the lives that we've done in the past 19 days, I mean, every one of them is very different, but they all have a lot of similarities. So, um, yeah, I definitely hope you guys are getting something out of this challenge as we kind of almost kind of, you know, turn the corner on kind of like the back half of the challenge. So, hey, Vat, how you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, we'd love to have you be a part of this challenge. If you want to subscribe, that's all you got to do. It's free, and you know, come hang out with us, and you can get caught up on the previous days of the challenge. Any topic that you like, or you know, obviously we encourage you to watch multiple topics if you'd like to. So yeah, Sweetums, that's a great suggestion. So we can definitely show 'em, Canva and kind of show you know what they have as far as like you know different templates, that kind of thing. So, yeah, absolutely. Great idea. And that way, what we can do is really get more of like an interactive piece. So, let me go over here to Canva. Let me stretch the screen out real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna flip over to this other tripod. It's a little loose, but that's okay. It'll work. So we'll get we'll make it work. Go. Come on. At least we got two, which is cool. So two tripods. That way one's a little bit shorter, so that's why it kind of looks like, come on thing. My head's getting cut off because it's a little shorter. So, okay, let me flip this thing around. All right, so here we are in Canva. If you guys have never seen Canva before, Canva is basically like a free graphic design tool, but it does so much more. So Canva over here, just canva.com. It's free. There's basically two levels. So you have Canva, which is Canva free, and then there's also like the next level up is called Canva Premium, and that's what I pay is $119 a year, but it pays for itself like literally every single day. So um, it's awesome. Okay, so what you're going to see here is the main search area of Canva. This is the main dashboard, the main layout. So all you're going to do is we're going to type in whatever we want to do as far as a template. So does anybody have any ideas out there for what kind of template we should make? So we did an ebook. So let's try to think of something other than that. So we did an ebook a couple of lives ago. So let's think here. Yeah, bad. No, we're happy to have you here. So definitely, we'd love to have you hang out and come along. So yeah, definitely consider subscribing for sure. And if you go to the main channel page, VAT, what you can do is you can click on playlists, and you can actually see there's a playlist for this particular challenge, and it goes through, and it starts with like the announcement, and then it goes to day one, and it gives you everything you need basically that has happened so far in this challenge. So yeah, you feel free to check that out. And then also there's other videos outside of this challenge as well. So other long form videos. So you can just use a little magnifying glass and you can type in whatever you're looking for and see if we have a video on it here. So yeah. All right, guys. So what do you think? So what should we do a template for? I'm actually kind of leaning towards journal, but what do we think? Anybody have a suggestion? What would you guys like to see? Come on, thing. Yeah, this thing isn't the like sturdiest, but I'll try to make it so nobody gets sick here. Sweet. Okay, we're gonna go with journal. Thanks, Dragon Rider. We'll go with journal and we'll kind of go from there. And then, we can always pivot to something else if we need to. So, okay, so all you're gonna do is you're gonna type in. So it says 5 words to describe your design. So what we want to do is just type in journal, and then we want to type in template. So right here, journal, and then there's also journal background. So we're gonna be working with a journal. Okay, so this is journal templates right here. Oh, thank you, Sweetums. I appreciate it. Thanks for posting that. Yeah, that. So yours is making money through Canva, maybe by rendering big companies some new project. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, we have like, there's a lot of different videos on our channel with Canva. So feel free just to kind of browse around, check it out, see what you think. Um, so this is the beginning of it. So we typed in journal templates, and as you can see, there's about 1,500 templates, right? So that's a lot. That's a lot of templates. So let's decide on a template together. So we could do, I just want to real quickly point out. So if there's a little crown um, on the image or the template itself, it means that you need to have the pro account in order to access that template or edit the template. So that's okay. What you could do is you can just select something like this that doesn't have the crown. But for this example, we're just gonna do uh, we'll do the template for the pro version. I really actually like this one, but let's just scroll down here a little bit. So do we have a topic? Anybody think of a topic? So when you think of the template, then maybe the next thing we want to think of is like the niche or like the topic. So to see if we can kind of, I guess, kind of make it so it's a little more branded. Yeah, so Dragon Rider asks, so would you sell blank journals as a printable or as an Amazon KDP product? Yeah, definitely. So, I think Dragon Matter, yeah, you could absolutely sell blank journals. Okay, let's see. Did I look over that? Sorry, I was like literally reading the comments, but at the same time trying to follow what you guys were saying. So let's see, where is that? Where do you see stuff like beauty, secret niche? Right on. Okay. Am I like totally blind? I know Woe and Sweetums, you guys both mentioned 75 hard. Am I like staring right at it and I can't see it? Let me go back up. Yeah, gratitude. Yeah, gratitude journals are really big right now. So let me just make sure I respond to. So Dragon Rider asked, yeah, would you sell a blank template, a blank journal as a printable or as an Amazon KDP product? Yeah, you could. You definitely could. You could sell them as both, as a printable or as an Amazon KDP product. You could definitely leverage that. So, oh, gotcha, gotcha, guys. Okay, I guess yeah, I haven't heard that before. So I was like, oh, what are you guys talking about? Okay, so how about we look at? I like this one. So why don't we look at this one? Um, and we'll just kind of we can always go back and we could take a look at another one if we want to. So let's start with this. So we're gonna click on this, and then you can go over here and there's actually two different sizes. So you can say, okay, you can have it small and it gives you the diameter of here of the inches, or you can go large, which is like a normal kind of like computer page paper. And then this is pretty cool because you can also say, okay, is it college ruled? Do you want wide ruled? Do you want like bullet dots? Do you want blank? So you can really customize like what the actual page, the physical page inside the planner is going to look like. So, and then obviously a soft cover. And then you can go down and you can select a notebook. How many do you want? That kind of thing. So you can put in, whatever you want to put in. So, and then you can design the cover. So design a cover for the front and back only. So it contains 160 pages. So it gives you an idea of how big the book is. So, and then, so all we have to do is click on customize this template. So this is obviously the cover. And so this actually looks like it would be designing the front cover. So not actually like the inside itself. So that's okay because this is just like the front cover. So you could take this and you could change out the font. You could put a different word in here. You could really make this to whatever whatever you like. So so the reason that it says $28 Dragon Rider is because that one is this is something that you can actually have um, printed through Canva if you want. So instead of selling it like as a template, you can actually sell it like totally complete. So this one we may actually want to pick a different one here because this is actually like the complete book itself. So let's try to pick another one. So let's do let's see. Okay, how about this one? All right. So we can go through here and so this is basically like, do the same thing. So, or we can pick a different type of template down here. So let's see. Here's a planner. This one actually gives you, what does that say? Let's do this one. This one looks a little bit better. So we're going to do large, right? Because we want it to be a full page over here. And then we can do, how about we do college ruled as far as like the spacing goes. So we're going to customize this template. And then what you can do is you can actually go through and this is where the binding is going to be as far as like the rings over here on this side. Um, so if you wanted to sell it like this, like digital, that kind of thing, you could sell it and then somebody could take the digital file and you could bring it to like a FedEx or like a Kinko's or some sort of like Office Depot and they can actually bind it for you. So just because it has the bindings in here, it doesn't mean that you're going to have it come out as like a full book. So really, so all you'd have to do instead of like ordering through Canva over here, you can just go up here and you can hit share, and then this is how you could download it. So you'd want to download it here and download as a PDF. So, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit here in a moment. All right, so we're talking about a gratitude journal. So, um, motivational journal for the 75 hard method. So I'm not too familiar with that. Do you want to explain kind of what that is, just so we can kind of get a sense of, kind of how we want to approach this? Awesome. Okay. 75 hard includes a diet, 2 workouts, drink a gallon of water, daily progress picture, and read 10 pages of a book for 75 days. Awesome. Okay, so you could totally take this and you can customize it, if you wanted to. This is more of like an actual, kind of planner. But what you could do is you could wipe out any pages you want. So if you wanted to say delete this page right here, you can always just delete it. Boom. And then if you didn't want that in there, um, yeah. So this one's basically like a daily tracker planner, like a almost think of it like more of like a calendar type thing. But you can customize the cover, or what you can do is you can kind of take a cover that we found before that's just the cover, and you can use that in place of this. So all it is you just want to have the image itself. So it doesn't matter if you use this white background with black text or not. So you can come here if you wanted to. Let's just say we want to make this a little more. It kind of looks a little basic. So let's change this here. We're gonna put in a name, and then instead of it being just black and white, we wanna put an image in here. So let's bring this down. So let's say that we don't want this image right here, right? That part. So we're just gonna delete that. So let's go over here and we're gonna go over to um, elements, and then we're gonna type in something. So what kind of image do you think we should put there? So as far as, we can make it like the background image. So what do you guys think as far as what might look good for a planner in terms of, adding some sort of image or something motivational? Oh, okay, they use a spade in their branding. Okay, cool. That sounds good. Thanks, Sweetums. So we could do like, how about, let's see, we could put, you know what? Let's search fitness and let's just see. Let's see what we can find here. So we can go over here and we can go under images. And what you can do is just to make sure that these images are going to be free for you to use. All you have to do is click on the 3 dots right here, and then it'll say free for Canva Pro. So basically, it tells you that the licensing, you're allowed to use this, and you can use it for personal and commercial uses. So you can't resell it or distribute it or take credit for the standalone media, which means the template as is. You have to really customize it and kind of tweak it, change the fonts, add a little bit of things here and there. So, okay, got it. I see what you're saying, Sweetum. So let's go back over here. Actually, let's stay over here. Let's see if we can search for a spade. So let's see what we got here. So black spade. Okay, so let's do all. Okay. And black spade with the number 75 in it. Okay. So let's copy this. Bring this down. We'll change this color. So we'll change this color to white. And then we can make it a 75. And then we definitely want to make this bigger. So we're going to stretch this out. And we can either we can do it a couple different ways. You can take this and you can stretch it to make it bigger, or you can hold this down and you can make that bigger that way, or you can just type in a number. So like 200. and then we just drag this up, and then we can even just go a little bit bigger. Okay. So does it look something like that, or is it more of like, is this smaller, like the 75 itself? Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So, okay, so maybe we make this a little teeny bit smaller. Okay, there we go. And we can even, if you want to keep this, we can keep that. Otherwise, we can just keep it like this. Okay, so then what you can go down is you can, this is a part where you can customize. You can customize, what the font is used. You can customize how big it is. If you want to have, like, for example, if you have certain, um, do they have templates for checklists in the calendar? Yeah, I think they do. I think they do have templates for checklists. Let's see. So, let's see. This is a page. Let's see. I think they do have a checklist. Okay. Border. To do notes. Okay. So it looks like this one doesn't have a checklist, but that doesn't mean that you can't add something in here. So if you wanted to go down to the very bottom and add a page, then you can have a blank page right here, and then you can go over to design, and then you can type in whatever you want to do. So if we do checklist, then coming over here on this side, you can actually sort down and you can see, okay, do I like any of these checklists? Something very simple like this, you can put in here, and then you can move it up to whatever page you want it to put it on. Or if you want it to be a little more, maybe kind of like fancy looking, you could go back and you could take a look and see, okay, what else is in here? There's a weekly checklist. There's one that's got a little color on it, morning checklist. If you wanted to use something like this, and then it's got a little more color, a little more kind of like life to it, you can always change the background. So make this pink if you want to do that, and then move these around, move all the elements around, and then you can. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So you can do a space at the top for the day and the date on the top of each page. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what you could do is you could take it and we can do a custom. So let's see. Let's take something like this. So let's take that font and then let's put it right here at the very top. And then what we can do is we can say, we'll just say Monday, and then we'll do, just for the heck of it, we'll just say, and I know it's probably going to be spelled out, but we'll just say Monday, January 1st, and then put that like in the top right here. And then if you wanted to say, well, I don't like the way these look, just delete these. And then, so you have something that says, okay, Monday, January 1st, or you can really design it however you like, and change the font, if you wanted to change the color of it, you can go here and make it white, so make it pop a little bit, maybe make it bold. Okay. All right, so make it masculine looking and do diet, 2 workouts, gallon of water, progress pic, and 10 pages of reading. Got it. Okay. So let's do a little, let's see, what should we do for the background? Let's do, how about, let's see. We can even do like, we can do a gradient because this is digital, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be printing this out. Or maybe you will, so you can actually kind of play with that as far as if you want it to be a little more, change this maybe to white. Then you go in here, change this to white, and then it kind of changes the colors here. So we can, if you don't like that look, you can click this and then go back in and we can choose a different gradient. So maybe something like, um, let's see. I mean, that's pretty, how about that? That's pretty like, pretty neutral, pretty standard, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so we can switch these out with, we can say, so diet, and then we can do 2 workouts, gallon of water, progress pick, or maybe do like daily progress picture. And then we can do 10 pages of reading. So and then what you can do is if you want to keep these, you could actually you could change out the other color. So if you want to change it, you could make that whatever you want. As far as like this particular template, like you can customize it however you like it. So we can put it back over here to, I don't know what it was, white, something like that. And then so if you have these, then here's your checklist. So if you want to take these out, we can just delete these. And then yeah, and then what you can do is you can actually take this, and if you try to move this by itself, it's going to kind of move it in a funky way. So what you want to do is you actually want to group all of these together. So what you can do is, let's get off that. So you take your mouse, left mouse click, and then you highlight everything here. So everything has a purple around it. And then what you can do is you can right click and hit group. And that way what you're going to do is, well, actually, we didn't want this little part of it. It's actually, let's go back. Ungroup. Okay, so I'm gonna actually, just for the heck of it, let's delete that so that doesn't get in the way. So yeah, so all you got to do is just highlight. Yep. So you'd make this as a PDF. So you just highlight this, and you'd right click and hit group, and then that way you can drag this whole thing as a group instead of dragging it piece by piece where it's going to come apart. See how it's like kind of coming apart, and you're like, oh crap, I meant to drag this whole thing as like a solid piece. So all you have to do is just highlight all the layers um, again to where they all turn purple, and then just click on group, and then you can move it and put it wherever you want. So let's go back here. Okay. All right, so let's group this one. We're just gonna group them because that way what we can do is we're gonna wanna make it a little more spread out. So I'll show you guys that here in one sec. Okay. Okay. So now you can really like move them wherever you want, and they're gonna stay. If you want to spread them out a little bit, you can kind of spread them out, and then you know, whatever seems to make the most sense as far as kind of giving yourself a little more space and making it look a little more neat. Then if you don't like this font, you know, no problem at all. You can just go over here and you can search for a different font. I like to use, what is it? Callistoga. Callistoga. I think I'm butchering that name, but anyway. So maybe it looks a little, okay, make that a little bit bigger. Okay. So what do you guys think? How does that look? That's just like obviously like a super quick, you know, kind of like example, but you can come in here, you can tweak it, and you know, that way. So let's say for example, yeah, yeah, definitely. So daily checklist. Yep, that's a great point. So daily checklist. There we go. And then what you can do is if you're like, okay, I like the way this looks, I like the way this template itself looks. So then all you'd have to do to make it be a Tuesday, just hit duplicate page, and then just go down here and just type in January 2nd, and then do Tuesday. Tuesday. Ah, crap. And then there you go. Okay, so put a space in there. So now you have Monday, you have Tuesday, And if you're going to do the same thing, we might as well just do it again, and we'll just kind of, so let's go back over here, 3, and then we'll just do Wednesday, just to kind of show you guys how this works. Wednesday. And then we'll just move it over a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now we have all the same days. So we have Wednesday, we have Tuesday, and then we have Monday. So, oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kimo. Yep. So you have these, and then obviously you guys remember everything is customizable. So if you don't like the teal or the orange or the whatever, you can always change that background color too. And the cool part about this is, let's just say we scroll back up to the journal, and we're like, okay, where do we want to put these things? So let's say maybe we got the calendar, we got January. Okay, so once we have January planned, maybe in between these two pages, like page 3 and page 4. So we're gonna go back down, and we want to put it in between page 3 and 4. So all you got to do is, this might take a little bit of time depending on how many pages there are, but all you have to do is click up, and every time it goes up, the number is gonna count down because it's moving up in the checklist. So we want to just keep doing this real quick until we get up to between 3 and 4, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Just turn away for a second, real quick. We're almost done. Okay, one more. Okay, so here we go. You have page number 3, January 1st, to-do list, notes, and then here we go, Monday, January 1st, daily checklist, and then it goes right into this January part. So that's really how you can really customize. Yeah, so another thing we can do, Bookie, is, so Bookie asks, what are the other templates do they have that can tie into with this journal? So really, the options are limitless. So we did a to-do list. Can you guys think of another thing that you would find in a journal? So maybe like, let's see, what is like another page that we would find in a journal in terms of something like, so they have a little bit of a writing area, they have a calendar, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think what else you would find in a journal. What about how about like a contact list, or that kind of thing? So like where you can reach out to, I mean, obviously I know that everybody does electronic these days for the most part, but you can just do maybe like a address book kind of thing, maybe, or like a contact list address book template, or contact list. Yeah. So, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's probably better. Thank you, Kumo. So menu plan for the diet. Yeah. Okay. So menu plan template. Okay. So then let's go back down over here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a page. So just click on add page right here, and then we can delete this because we don't want that background, right? We want it to be starting fresh, and then we'll go over here, and we can kind of see what we like, if anything stands out. I mean, right away, this is for like if you're going to do exercise, but so maybe we can just change this and say like meal menu plan, and see if that, okay, so this is kind of cool, this one. So let's just see if there's any one that stands out a little bit more that we like. This one's kind of cool. Weekly planner, daily meal planner. This one looks a little more interesting. So, yep. Then you can tie it, yep, tie it all together with the same spade logo. Yep, definitely. So let's see. How about this one actually? I like this one. This one's standing out to me. So actually, this one actually looks a little bit too, there's nothing wrong with it looking too childish, but if we want this to be like an adult to try to, maybe something like this. How about, let's go back. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of something that doesn't look as like, okay, how about this one? How about this one? Okay. Here we go. This kind of has like a bunch of different, images, and I know it's just an example, so you guys can customize it however you like to. So we'll use this one right here. And then the cool thing about it is you can take this and, you can be able to write in the date, and then if you want to, like, if you set it how you want it, like if this looks good to you, like as face value, then you can either just change the images, you can change the background color, and make it a little bit, if you want to do black or maybe orange, or let's see, maybe like this gradient. Let's see, it's like green and there we go. How about that? And you just change the images and the spades and change the colors to gray and black. Yep. Yeah, that's true. So we want the same kind of gradient. So what do we choose? This one? Yeah. Okay. So that'll line up with this gradient to kind of keep the color scheme the same. And then we can even just, if you're like, all right, well, I don't like these images, let's get rid of these. And then let's go back over here to elements. And then we're going to search for, how about this? Let's just type in meal. And let's just see for the heck of it what comes up. So we can do graphics, and maybe you want something like this. Maybe this looks nice to you. I mean, it kind of looks, you know what? That looks a little kitty. Let's do this. Let's do this one. How about this right here? Okay, that one looks good. Top row. Which one do you think, Bookie, for top row? So this one of these, just a plain black fork and knife. Yeah, that's a good one. Like this one. Yeah, okay. This one right here. To go with the spade theme. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so we have this one. So we're going to shrink this down. Just drag this and kind of drag it so it shrinks a little more. And then we're going to come up here, and then we're going to size it up. And then kind of, there we go. And then we want to put something down here. You know what we could even do is we could take, even honestly, what we could do, let's go up here and we could take our spade. We want to group this together, group it, and then we can copy this. And let's go all the way back down. Let's see how this looks. Paste. Okay, I don't think that copied actually. Where is copy? Okay. Let's go back down. And let's go down here. Paste. There we go. And then we can literally like take this, shrink this down. And you can have something that looks like that. So we really want to kind of go with the black and white theme. And if this text is fine, if not, you can always customize it. You can go over here and, I know we kind of used this one before, so maybe that's a little bit easier to read. And then, if you want to keep these colors, you could. Otherwise, you could just click on, the green for the background, and you could change it. Put it whatever you want. For like, if you wanted to change the actual like, snack versus breakfast versus dinner, you could change it or you can keep it the same. And everything is definitely starting to look more branded. So you want to definitely like, that was a great suggestion, keeping everything the same as far as like the background image, and also something that kind of lines up a little more, and it is more kind of consistent, I think. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, Sweetum. So black background with a white logo. I mean, a white text. So let's do that. So black background, and then the text is white. Come on. Shape. Oh, sorry, I'm clicking the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so let's do this one. Black, text is white. Black, white. and notes, finally notes. So let's go down here, black, and then text is white. There we go. All right, what do you guys think about that? I mean, that's definitely something that looks definitely brandable as far as, you know, having this be the daily meal planner page. And you can really have this, and you can, if you like it, if you like how it looks, just do this and duplicate the page or copy the page, and you have another one. And then you can really move it up wherever you like to move it up. So um, I wonder if you could, no, you can't do that. Okay. So yeah, that's looking really nice. What do you guys think? Is this, how does this look for the planner? Let's see if we can. Yeah, so I would say, so Dragon Rider asked, would you sell those as separate downloads or as one? So I would honestly, I would say we sell it as one. We sell the entire package as one template. So and that way you know that it's one piece, and then people can part it out. And that way, maybe what you can do is you can even um, kind of set a little bit of a higher price because it's more of a high quality template. So this is called, what is it called again, you guys? 75 hard, is that what it was? 75 hard journal. Okay. Oh wait, let's do this. Template. There we go. Okay. So you, if you wanted to, like, I know this isn't exactly like what the topic is, but if you wanted to, you could print it with Canva like we saw it, and they'll create it. Otherwise, that's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that we can have this as a template that's editable. So you're going to hit share, and this is how we're going to download it. So going to go down here and click on download. And then obviously we don't want a PNG. We want it for PDF. So this one is the best for printing. So we're going to assume if people want to print it, you can always have this, make this the option. Um, and then what we'll do is we don't want to include any of this stuff here. So yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Absolutely good point, Sweetum. So if you included, you could say, hey, I'll put your name on this and put your name here or that kind of thing. So we can even just do this. So you can do your name here. And then that way, whoops, sorry about that. That way people know that it can be customizable. And you can even put that in your description when you're posting it. So then what we want to do is click on share and then click on download. And then we're going to do PDF and we're going to do print. Just in case somebody wants to print it. I know it's like a digital product, so you can keep it like this and just give it the option if somebody wants to print it. So we're going to click on PDF print, and then we want to do color profile, RGB, best for digital use. So we want to keep that, and then we're just going to click on download. So it's going to go through and it's going to create this template. And literally what you guys are seeing is creating a template. So okay, so now it's downloaded. So this is what the PDF looks like. Oh, sorry, this is a little off. And then you can type in here and you can go down, and here's our daily meal planner, shopping list, and all of that. That turned out really nice. So you can either do it like this. So if you want someone to actually print it out, you can do that. Or what you can do is if you go here and you can do a template right here. So you can also do this. So if you wanted to sell it as a Canva template, so anyone with a link can use this design as a template. So sign in is required, but you won't know who has made it copies of the design. So you can click on learn more. We just get an example of, so if you want to share your, so you can do it both ways. So you can actually save it as a downloadable PDF, or you can actually design it as a template link. So what that means is basically you can, let's go back here and let's save it. So we want to create the template link. Okay. And then hit copy. And then if somebody goes here and they copy and paste that link, then they would be able to just go into Canva and you can edit the template right here. So, and you can see the pages. So, and if you wanted to edit it, just click edit right here. Yep. So, and then you can go here and you can type in whatever you want. And then that's it. And then you can customize it however you want. And then what you can do is you can even go over here. If you wanted to print it through Canva, you could do that too, or whoever bought it. So that's basically how you would create the customizable template. So you can either, you can do it in two ways. So you can download it like we did before, like an actual PDF. Where did that go? I just saw it. You can download it as an actual PDF, or you can download it and save it as a template itself through Canva. So, and I just want to, I just want to show you guys real quick, just to, let me flip this around real quick. I just want to show you the side of Canva that you want to make sure that, as far as like the licensing and all that kind of stuff goes, that you can actually sell these templates. So, so can you sell Canva templates on Etsy? So let's go down here to, let's see if Canva has, okay. So here we go. This is what I was looking for. So using Canva to design digital and physical products for sale. So right here, templates on this side. So what is allowed and what's not allowed? So you can only sell original designs, right? So it has to be an original design. You can't sell Canva content on a standalone basis, meaning like downloading the template and just selling it for what it is. So without customizing anything, without adding anything, without changing colors, that kind of thing. Um, how do I know if my design is original enough? Is the design unique enough to be able to put in the creative effort, or I'm just reselling content I found on Canva with minimal change? So I just wanted to make sure that this was something that you guys understood that is absolutely allowed and legal by Canva. Um, so right here, products you can sell, templates, posters, mugs, t-shirts, stickers, and so on. So Canva's content license agreement does allow you to use both Canva Free and Pro to design and sell a range of products. Selling templates, right here. So selling template under certain conditions, the template needs to be an original design. You can use a combination of free and pro content. You can only use pro content in template designs if they have a shared as Canva template links. So basically when you go to download it, if it says share as Canva template, then you know that that's a safe template that you can use. So what do you guys think? Are you guys liking this? Do you guys, is you getting a lot out of this? This is a really, really cool live, and I hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you guys are enjoying it. So I just want to say real quick how much I appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot. Thank you so much for joining this live. Um, it's definitely one of the ones that's more like action packed, and to be able to thank you, Sweetums, for the suggestion to actually show off the examples of the templates, because I know I'm visual. I know how helpful it is to be able to see these. So I definitely know what it means and how easy it is. So um, just wanted to say real quick, you know, our content, our channel is not monetized yet. So if you would like to send a donation or support our channel, in the very top of this live stream chat, there is a pinned comment, and it's a way for you to support our channel if you would like to do so. We have Buy Me a Coffee, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle. So definitely, if you would like to do that, all the information is at the top of the live stream chat. We really appreciate it, and we're absolutely definitely grateful for any help or any type of donation that we get. So I just want to share my experience with you guys and be able to work together, build this community, and be a part of it with each other. So, hey, AI boy, no problem. No, you're good. Um, you know what? We're getting ready here in a little bit to close out this live for the day. I got to rest the voice. So you're more than welcome to, if you'd like to watch the replay. As soon as the live is over, the replay is going to be available. So that's something that you definitely can check out. So thank you, Sweetums. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys are out there and if you really enjoyed today's content and you want to continue with us on this 30-day challenge, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos in the beginning, or Sweetums, so you don't miss any videos coming up, because we're only on day 19, right? We got 11 more days to go, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about membership sites. So if you're interested in that at all, as far as how to build a community around a membership site, how to make money with one, make sure to subscribe, hang out with us, and we'll definitely be covering that tomorrow. So um, just want to say thank you again, everybody, so very much. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And does anybody have any last minute or final questions that I can help answer or anything? Hey, AI boy, I'm getting ready to close down. Why don't you can feel free to come back tomorrow, and definitely we can talk about it. So definitely pop in tomorrow for sure. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the engagement, the participation, and the conversation. Loved it. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for getting this up to 21 likes. I really appreciate it. So everybody be safe out there. Have a great night wherever you are. Have a great night. And we will see you tomorrow for day 20. I can't believe it's day 20. Day 20 membership sites. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.